Welcome back to the Lumios Post, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're going to be exploring some of the wonders of the Pokemon world. One thing that we saw in Scarlet and Violet was this new edition of, it's not even important to the story at all, but this new edition of what they called the 10 Sites of Paldea, and then they did, I think, the 7 Wonders or something like that of Kitakami. This was things like, for example, the highest point of Glaciado Mountain, the strange rock formations like over in the northwestern part of Paldea, and then you had the Leaky Tower over near Alfornada, things like that. They just kind of made them like the wonders of Paldea, similar to how, in the real world we have like the wonders of the world, So I love this so much, and I want it to be applied to other regions. I don't know why I love this so much. I'm going to be frank with you. I don't know why. I love when they just try to immerse me in Pokemon. And so it's so cool when they do things like this, where there's kind of some, cultural or lore bits that aren't important to the story. They're just fun for you to discover. And, it just gives a little more life to the Pokemon world. So I wanted to revisit past regions that we've seen before this new little sites or wonders or whatever of Kitakami and of Paldea, and I wanted to revisit the older regions and give them what I think their 10 wonders or sites would be. First, of course, we're starting with the Kanto region. It's where, the Pokemon franchise began. So the number one place I think that the Kanto region would have is Mount Moon. Mount Moon is a very impressive formation over in the Kanto region. It is home to meteorites and fossils, and there are Clefairy, and they perform rituals there. I just think that it's a very beautiful, naturalistic place, and it's kind of like a nice place that connects our world to up there, not heaven, but space. So I think that would be one of the wonders of Kanto. I also think another one would be in the Tojo Falls. Now, I know we don't immediately think of the Tojo Falls as a Kanto location because, it's actually not in the original Gen 1 games and not in any of the Gen 1 game remakes, but it's a Kanto location. It is a place you encounter after you have met that man who's like, hey, you know what you just did? You just took your first steps into the Kanto region. So it's a part of Kanto, and this place really just kind of shows the camaraderie, the bond between the Kanto and Johto regions. You figure these regions are very close. They even share their own Pokemon League, which is a big thing in Pokemon because people love their leagues in Pokemon. So for two regions to come together and share one, that shows a lot. And, Tojo Falls would represent that. It would represent that bond between these two regions. And I think that's beautiful. And then also it is cool to twin waterfalls. So that's nice as well. So there's our second one, Tojo Falls. For our third location, I would actually say that it would be the Seafoam Islands. The Seafoam Islands, of course, are these islands in a more tropical part of Kanto, or a more, at least, like, regularly vacation to part. Like, you see swimmers and all this. Yet, oddly enough, these caves hold a very icy interior and are said to be where the legendary Articuno lives. And then also now, these caves are even home to the Cinnabar Gym, so that's really cool, and I think that makes it a great candidate for one of the wonders or sites of Kanto. Now, typically, but not exclusively, we see a lot of these wonders or sites are natural areas. However, some, like the Leaky Tower over in Paldea, are actually man-made things, and I think there are some really impressive man-made locations in the Kanto region. For one, there's the Cycling Road. This is a giant bridge that spans over water, and hypothetically would be so tall that the SSN can go under it, because, it has to be getting into the Vermilion Port somehow. So, huge bridge, very impressive man-made feature. And then, in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it was changed from the Cycling Road to, I don't remember the name of it, but basically an area where you had to be riding on a Pokemon, and that's really cool too. It is a location built by man that is not only aesthetically impressive, but also literally represents like the bond between human and Pokemon. So that's really neat, and I think it's a great candidate for one of the wonders. Then there's also the Nugget Bridge. The Nugget Bridge is a classic, and it is clearly like a tourist attraction of Cerulean City. So The Nugget Bridge, I think, absolutely would have to be on there. It's painted gold like a nugget, or maybe it's made out of actual gold. I don't know. But either way, Nugget Bridge, I think, is very impressive and should be on here. And then I have Route 12 down. You know, this is one that maybe a lot of people be like, it's a bunch of docks. And that's exactly right. It's a bunch of docks, and they made a route out of it. That's really cool. They connected Lavender, Vermilion, and Fuchsia all by sea with this route. So I think that is very, very impressive, and I think it deserves a spot on here. It also, you know, is a very popular fishing spot, so there's that going for it too. It's a very pretty route, very pretty music, very cool Snorlax. So yeah, I'm sorry, not sorry. It's got to be Route 12. That's one of them. And that leaves us with 4 more. So first we have Diglett's Cave. Diglett's Cave, I think, is very impressive. Again, you're seeing this formation, the structure that connects Pewter City to Vermilion City and is really long, and humans can traverse it, but a human didn't build it. It's not even man-made, and it's not natural either. It's actually made by wild Diglett. It says that wild Diglett formed this tunnel. So that is really cool, and just, you know, kind of shows the power of Pokemon. I like that a lot. So yeah, it's going down as one of the 10 sites. Then we actually are going to leave mainland Kanto for a bit and visit the Sevii Islands. The Sevii Islands are a part of the Kanto region, so, you know, anything on these islands are actually eligible for being one of the wonders of Kanto. And first, we have Cape Brink. Cape Brink is a beautiful little cliff and, you know, a cape. There's a waterfall. It's just really stunning. I did think of putting down the Cerulean Cape, which is over where Bill lives, but I did think, if I want Nugget Bridge to be on this list, Nugget Bridge is just a little too close to the Cerulean Cape, so I decided I'd go with Cape Brink instead. But the Cerulean Cape, if you have that down on your list, well, I don't blame you. It's a beautiful spot. Then we have Mount Ember. Mount Ember is a very impressive volcano over in the Sevii Islands, and is also home to Moltres. Moltres regularly visits there. You go to Kendall Road to get there. It's a beautiful, like, I guess, path to get there. The mountain is beautiful and impressive, and I just think that absolutely a volcano would be down as one of Kanto's wonders. And lastly, we have the Sevii Canyon. I can remember, Sapphire Red was my first game I ever played, and of Pokemon at least, and I remember getting to the Sevii Canyon and being like, whoa, this place is cool. You know, obviously not as impressive now in hindsight, you know, when you have a lot of places like, you know, Sakura Trail or, you know, Glimwood Tangle, but those don't matter. We're talking about Kanto, and this was very impressive in Gen 3. I love this canyon. I'm pretty sure you can find Larvitar here. That alone was so cool. You go south past it, you see the Tenobi ruins, and I think this canyon would look really impressive, especially if they were to bring up the Sevii Islands into today, like, you know, do them in the style of Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet. I think this canyon will be one of the most beautiful spots, and I don't even think it'd be a debate then. Everyone would have this one down as one of their wonders of Kanto. But yeah, be sure to let me know what you think of this list. If you had to pick the 10 wonders or 10 sites of the Kanto region, what would they be? And, you know, if this video gets enough views, then I'll hop over to Johto next. I hope it does, because, like I said, I love this. This is legit one of my favorite videos I've ever made. I know that's dumb, but I can't help it. Yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so I know you like this video and I can make more of them. I will see all of you later.